Hey guys, it's Natalie again. I'm going to be doing this next series of videos in 3 parts because this deals with some of the first things that people start experiencing when they start awakening, which is manic depression or bipolar, fibromyalgia, and anxiety. So if you have any of those things, your body's probably actually trying to start awakening. So we're going to go into depth about how to actually heal those things step by step. And I'm going to do it in 3 different videos because you start with the mind first. Then you go into the body and we heal the body. Then we heal the spirit. And this is going to take you through a series of several months, okay? But if you're willing to do the work, you will get better. If you're not, yeah, sorry. So, I never said it was going to be easy, only that it's worth it. So let me kind of give you a rundown of where I was in my life when I started this journey. So I was married into a polygamous culture. I was being very emotionally abused. I was bipolar. My grandma was bipolar, manic depressive. She was diagnosed. They put her on medication. My mom had symptoms of it, and I flat out was a crazy hot mess. So let me give you just a tidbit of what my day was like. I would wake up at early in the morning to get my chores done around 5:30, and I would be weeping the whole time. And then by 7 o'clock I'd be bouncing off the walls, and then by 10 o'clock I'd be in my office crying again at work, and I'd crawl under my desk and I would do weird things, and it was really miserable. So if you have anybody in your life that is suffering from bipolar or manic depression, just hug them. It's horrible. They never think anything's going to be okay, and it is, but it really is really bad. So that's kind of where I was in my life. I also had something called fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is when the back of your neck is flared or inflamed, and your spine hurts and your whole body hurts. And I was 20 years old. What the freak? Right? So I always had essential oils all over my body, and I didn't know what I was doing at the time, so I smelled like a freaking medicine cabinet. It was horrible. And then anxiety. I would wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning with these panic attacks, or I couldn't go to sleep. I was 20 years old, and I slept with the light on. 21. I had to have the lights on because I would have dark spirits smother me and all sorts of crazy things. So we're going to go into all of those, but I'm going to do it in layers. Like I said, the first video is going to be strictly on your mind. How do we heal your mind? How do we change your belief systems so that you can start progressing, okay? So the first thing that happened to me was I was in this situation and I didn't see any way out. My religion taught me that if I left, I was going to hell, and just, they'll say they don't teach that, but it was a lot of guilt, a lot of, you had to do what God wanted, all these lovely little tidbits they throw in there. Anyways, so I attempted suicide. It was the only way I could see out. I couldn't really talk to anybody about it. They isolate you from your family. I wasn't allowed. It was considered bad to tell your family. Once you married out of a family, you weren't supposed to go back and talk to your other one about things like this. That was family business. You couldn't share family business. Anyway, so I overdosed on sleeping pills. And I didn't even make it to my bed. I fell asleep in the closet. My ex-husband woke me up and dragged me to the bed, and he didn't know I had overdosed. He was just trying to talk to me, and I just kept passing back out. Anyways, once he left, I tried to make it to the couch because I was scared at this point, because I was going to go ask for help because I knew I had overdosed, and but I couldn't go back to sleep. My body would jerk awake every 30 seconds. Now, someone told me that that's probably more my angels trying to keep me alive, but literally I felt like I had a defibrillator on me every time I stopped breathing, it would zap me awake again. Anyways, it was very painful. It sucked. Don't commit suicide. It's not worth it. It hurts. So, anyways, the next day I got up, didn't tell anybody again. went out or went downstairs, and I went to work and everything, but when I got home, my sister was like, I need you to go and weed the garden. And it's like pouring outside, and I'm like, really? Like, can we do it when it's dry? But she's pretty adamant that I go outside and weed the garden. So I went outside, and I start weeding the garden, and it's like really pouring at this point. And all of a sudden, my whole side of my arm seizes up, and I can't breathe, and my chest collapses, and I think I had a mini heart attack. And I fall to the ground, and I'm laying in the mud, looking straight up to the sky, and I'm like, this rain's pouring in me on my face, and I'm like, God, I'm done. I'm like, I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know what to believe. I just know that I can't do this anymore. And if you exist, please help me, because I can't do this by myself. And so I went into the house, cleaned myself up or whatever. It wasn't until the next day I went into work, and Natalie, she had this weird behavior of needing to have value, and so I would clean things. Like if I went to a party, I would be the one doing the dishes. So I went and I was cleaning the public restroom. Yeah, not my job. It wasn't my job. And I had a toothbrush, and I was all scrubbing it, and I was crying. I had my little manic depression thing going on. Anyways, I was cleaning under the cupboard, and clear in the back, like shoved behind everything, there was this wet book, but it was like dried, so it was like wilted. Per se, like it was like a wavy book, and it was You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hayes. And I was like, whoa, And so I picked it up, and I was like, and I just, I had to read this right now. So I read the entire book from cover to cover. Now she has a lot of affirmations in the back, but I read the entire book portion. But because it wasn't my book, I put it back under the cupboard, stuffed everything in front of it, and I went home for the night. I was the very last person to leave the office that day. The next morning, I'm the very first person to come to the office after the lady who did the billing unlocked the door. Anyways, I was a workaholic. It was how I stayed sane. Anyways, walk in, and guess what's on my desk? That book. That book was sitting right perfectly on my desk. And I had this overwhelming feeling, because I knew I had put it back. Like in a Ouija board. Couldn't get rid of it. And so I'm like, holy crap, what is going on? And this feeling came over me. It goes, Natalie, that is your book. That is your ticket out of here. So I picked up that book, and that became my Bible. In the back of the book, there's all these affirmations, and they talk about body symptoms and manic depression, fibromyalgia, all these things, and what emotions come with those. And so I started reciting those affirmations like you wouldn't believe. Like, I love and approve of myself. I'm at peace. I'm calm as well. Isn't that so simple to say? Not so much for me. I bawled every time I said it. And there were so many things in there that I just, every time I said it, like, I couldn't even, it's like my brain was like, you're lying. But you have to force yourself to say them. Because what we're going to do is we're going to reprogram our brain to believe good thoughts about ourselves. And when you start doing this, you're going to be able to attract amazing things. I am going to go, the next 2-3 videos are kind of things that add to this, to add to your healing. But I'm going to give you just an example of how amazing this book is. So once I started healing myself, it took me about 6 months. I would start at the very moment I woke up, I would start reciting affirmations. And I would do the same one for about 10 minutes over and over and over again. And then I would change to the next one. If I stopped for a minute, I would start bawling. But the more I did it, the stronger I got, the more assertive I got. By the time I left my marriage, my life was completely different. Because I believed in myself. I was lovable finally. I loved myself. It was amazing, amazing the things that happened. So this is gonna get a little crazy, but I started being able to control the elements. I started being able to do things that the human brain is not supposed to be able to do. So, for instance, one day I needed to ride to work, and I asked my sister wife, and I had to put my daughter to sleep, and she's like, well, you should have been done by now. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just walk, because I was over fighting with her. And so I walked to work, and the wind was blowing like crazy, because it was horrendous during the springtime down there, that we didn't have pavement roads, so it would be like dirt everywhere. And I literally turned to the wind, and I goes, don't touch me. I'm not scared of you. And I walked all the way to work like it was a beautiful spring day. I walk in, and I get into my office, and I'm working, and my boss, Susie, walks in. She goes, her hair is like, she lives literally just across the street. Her hair is like standing 4 feet off her head, and her like eyes and everything are covered in dirt. And she's like, where's your hairspray and your comb? I'm like, I don't have a hairspray and comb. She goes, well, where's your car? I didn't see you drive here. And I goes, I walked. She goes, why do you look perfect? And I goes, I told the wind not to touch me. And she goes, don't tell me. Because she had been seeing the things that I was able to do, like unlock doors and just crazy things like that. Like I needed a popsicle one day. I needed one more banana popsicle, and because I was giving the kids popsicles, and there wasn't any more. And I turned to my stepson, I says, go get me a banana popsicle. He's like, no, there's no more popsicle. I says, yes, there is. There's one more banana one. Like, that's what I wanted. And so he opened the door, and sure enough, there's one more banana popsicle sitting there. Just silly little things like that. Or my gas tank was out of gas, and I was not going to ask for money anymore, because my sister wife had scolded me about something. I'm like, screw it, fine. The car dies, I don't care. Like, if I'm driving and the car dies, you guys can pick it up. I'm not asking for things from you anymore if you're going to be rude to me. Anyways, I drove that car without gas for 3 to 4 days, like on empty, 3 to 4 days. And every time it would almost be out of gas, like all of a sudden it'd rear back up, and it would like go to 4th tank. So I had gas, and I'd just drive. And I remember my husband, I pulled into the parking lot one day, and he starts screaming. And I'm in my room, and I can hear him screaming. And he's all like, Natalie, there's not one drop of gas in this car, blah, blah, blah. And I went downstairs, and I goes, hand me the keys. And because he couldn't start the car. And I says, hand me the keys. And I put him in ignition, and literally it started for me. And that's what this book will do for you, is the universe will start working for you. Anyways, so that's my first recommendation, is I recommend you get this book and you heal your life. I'm not here to heal you. I'm here to help you heal yourself. So, first recommendation, get the book, Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. Start reading that book, start reciting the affirmation, and let's heal your mind. Then, we'll talk about your body next time. We will see you soon, because I'm just going to do the next video right now, but you probably would want to subscribe at this point, because the videos are, because you need to review these videos as you're ready for this next step. Okay? Thanks. Have a blessed day.